Hi, I'm Jenny Seifert, Watershed Outreach Specialist at UW-Madison Division of Extension, and I'm excited to present to you One Good Idea. Launched in December 2021, One Good Idea is a new resource and initiative to help farmers learn from each other about how to implement soil and water conservation practices on their operations. It integrates farmers' perspectives, multimedia, and the science of behavior change. You can find One Good Idea at goodideafarm.org. In a nutshell, it's a clearinghouse of videos and podcasts, all of which feature farmers sharing their experiences with conservation practices. It's a channel that facilitates farmer-to-farmer learning. The team that developed One Good Idea is a collaboration of extension professionals from several land-grant universities and farmers. So where do all the videos and podcasts come from? We know individuals and organizations are already producing great content to support farmers. So we wanted to create something that centralizes this content to save farmers from getting lost down YouTube rabbit holes. Nearly all of the content is crowdsourced from farmers directly or from professionals and organizations who work with farmers to implement these practices, such as Extension, NRCS, nonprofits, and farm advisors. Because we crowdsource, we're in a state of constant growth. Currently, we have over 260 videos and podcasts in the clearinghouse, with many in the queue to be added. And we're always open to new content submissions. So if you have content that you think might apply, information on how to contribute is on our webpage, Share Ideas, which is /share. So we have some important criteria for the content that we include in One Good Idea. First, we include ideas and experiences that are by farmers and for farmers and backed by evidence. A lot of research has shown that farmers most often prefer to learn from each other. In fact, in the science of behavior change, peer-to-peer communication is considered the gold standard. So this is the reason for the by farmers, for farmers. We also know that farmers want information they can trust. While there's a lot of good information out there, there's also a lot of misinformation out there. So evidence to us includes both research and on-farm experience. And we do have a vetting process, which includes expert reviewers to ensure quality control. Another important piece of criteria is that the content is focused on the practical and the practices. We want to help farmers learn what has worked, what hasn't worked, the how-tos, the benefits, and the lessons learned. We consider One Good Idea a starting place, a next step in the journey to trying something new or troubleshooting a challenge. So the basis for these criteria is really the audience that we're trying to reach. Not all farmers are in the same place on their conservation journeys. I'd say there's a general sentiment among folks who work with farmers that we've done a pretty good job already of engaging the innovators in conservation. And now there's a need to reach the middle of the adoption curve. So we're targeting that movable middle. That includes early adopters and the early majority. We're aiming for the farmers who are contemplating conservation. These folks are actively seeking information, even if they aren't actively practicing conservation. We know that the early middle often wants to know what to do. They want proof that a new practice will make a difference. Also, the early middle is one of the most important wins for a new practice. They tend to have a great deal of influence among their peers, even though they're not necessarily at the bleeding edge of a new practice. So if we can help enough of the movable middle make changes, we may reach that tipping point that is necessary to reach the rest of the curve. I don't have a lot of time to go more into the science behind One Good Idea, even though I wish I did, but here are a few tidbits to entice you with, and perhaps we can chat more about it in the Q&A. Again, One Good Idea is trying to follow the gold standard of behavior change communication, that's peer-to-peer learning. It leverages farmers' trusted sources of information. It's trying to address behavioral barriers such as risk aversion, uncertainty, and inertia to trying new things, which is often what that movable middle might be experiencing. And finally, it's leveraging the power of social norms. The more we can elevate the farmers who are doing these practices, the more we can change the narrative around what farming should look like and what it means to be a farmer. Because ultimately it's about changing the culture of agriculture to that of conservation. And this will take a collective impact. We want One Good Idea to be a collective impact tool that can help all farmers make a difference for their operations, their communities, and the world. So I invite you to be part of this collective impact, and here's how. You can first subscribe to our email list at goodideafarm.org. You can also follow us on Twitter or Facebook. Our handles are there. And we encourage you to also consider using our hashtag, which is What's Your Good Idea. We also encourage you to share One Good Idea with farmers and colleagues. And if you create content that you think might be a good fit, consider contributing it. We'd love to consider it. Thank you.